as long as most factors are positive, you're going to do all right. So we were very happy with the trading level of the rand. Unfortunately, the rand weakened at a time when demand wasn't pulling up. So I think in 2014, we're expecting to see both of those firing. So demand beginning to improve, as well as the weakening of the rand, then allowing us to export at more favorable rates than we've been able to do in the past. But certainly from an internal perspective, there's been a whole lot of work done to make sure that our operating procedures are on par with the best in the world. We're not there yet, but very steadily getting to that we have a very, very cost-conscious team of people to make sure that our operating metrics are on par with the best in the world. So I think as long as we can maintain that cost discipline internally, the market turns, the rand stays where it is, well, then 2014 could really be the year that the steel industry gets out of the doldrums.
Talking about the rand, we've seen the rand actually weakening, which is a situation that is in favor of exporters like yourself, and the global economy is also showing signs of a turnaround. Could this be a year that we see Arcelor Mittal returning back to profitability?
We don't provide market guidance 12 months out. We just give a 3-month view, and our outlook was probably the most positive that we have given out to the market. We outlook a positive earnings for first quarter, and so that's quite a long way from where we ended up at the end of the year. So we see price of steel more or less improving, not by a long shot, but we see sales increasing, which is very good. We see both exports and domestic sales increasing. And enough has been done on the cost side. And as you know, our iron ore supply agreement came into effect 1st of July. So our major inputs are also going to have a fairly well-controlled cost structure. So put all of that together, and we're quite excited about first quarter, and also very optimistic about the year as a whole.
Due to the old deal with Kumba Iron Ore falling through, Arcelor Mittal is paying a little bit more for iron ore. Could this be a black mark on your record?
Well, look, it depends how you view things. The reason that we didn't follow through with an arbitration that would have sought to restore our cost plus 3 agreement was so we could accommodate Thabazimbi. The big driver was to try and find a way to settle the issues of excessive cost at Thabazimbi, not so much a Sishen. And given that we had all these multiplicity of disputes with Kumba, not only Sishen in terms of the cost plus 3, but also overcharging and participation in Phoenix, etc., all of those have been resolved. And I think that is a far more positive outcome than one would have hoped for had you been looking, 12 months ago.
Government is on record trying to push for this for more commodities for local use, and they've been outspoken about steel pricing as provided as or supplied by Arcelor Mittal. In your view, does this actually approach affect local supply?
What local suppliers get is stability. And if there's anything that anybody who runs a business favors is actually a consistent operating environment that doesn't chop and change. So we've been able to do that. As for government, we have always believed that steel prices are just but one factor out of a long list of factors, and not even the most important factor for some of the industry sectors in order for them to make progress. And we've been engaging with DTI over the years to try and find a common ground as to how do you really stimulate downstream development in South Africa. If you look at the iron and steel industry, it actually does what the government wants broadly from a beneficiation perspective. You're taking raw materials, iron ore, we get from Kumba, we get semi-soft coking coal from Exxaro. We do buy some of the hard coking coals, but essentially we're taking South African raw materials and we're turning them into steel, and in the process creating 16,000 more jobs than would have been created had you just been exporting the raw commodities. So at a certain level, it needs to be recognized that we are responding by merely doing what we do every day to what is now a very big strategic push of the government, which is beneficiation.